Geek podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 14th, and it is our 74th episode. Of course, my name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? And man, it's been a little bit of a week. How has your week been?
Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. I had a little bit of fun though. I hung out with some friends, went out, and
Yeah, you went sportsing, didn't you?
I did. I went sportsing. Actually, yes, my first actual NFL game.
Nice.
Yeah, and it couldn't have been any better. Like, family basically. Long story short, my stepmom's from Wisconsin, from Racine, and her whole family's from Wisconsin. And sometime at the beginning of this year, I went out to eat with all of them. And we were talking, and we had such a good time, and I told them I'd never, because they go to Packers games all the time, and I told them I've never been, and they're like, that's it, you're coming, first game, opening season, we're going to get you tickets. And I was like, oh, awesome, like, of course, this is great. And then, dude, we were like 6 rows up, 50-yard line, and
Wow.
it couldn't have been better seats.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, and like, it was like, maybe like 10 of us. It was so much fun. And Aaron Rodgers did, of course, impossible throws. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout. I'm glad it was right on, right to the last second. And yeah, I couldn't have asked, and of course we won, so I couldn't have asked for a better game. The only thing better would have been if like it was in Lambeau, which I mean most people would rather see, to go to that stadium, but
Right.
but no, it was fun. It was a blast. It was just hot. Like, man, I thought I was gonna die. I've heard of people getting sick from getting hot, but that legit happened to me. Like, I wasn't feeling sick before that. I'm sick now, and I think it's because I was out in the sun all day. Like, I'm just constantly hot now. Yeah, I've got to put lotion on, all this other stuff. But yeah, man. Besides all of that, it was a blast.
Nice.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, man, this month's been packed of NXT football, like sporting things. So, yeah, it's been fun. But back to reality now. And I've been playing. Have you ever heard of Picross?
Yeah, yes, maybe.
Picross. Okay, so if you have a 3DS, go download the Pokemon Picross. It's absolutely free. It's a ton of fun. That Picross game is a 2D Picross. There's no math to it. Basically, it's too much to kind of go into here. But basically, there's a number at the top. There's a number on the side. And, if let's say there's 10 blocks across and 10 blocks up, 10 blocks to the right, and it has a number 10, you fill them all in 10. If it has 9, then that means 9 of those blocks are blocks and one of them's an X. And so like it's this puzzle where you have to figure out what the image is. And you do that by deduction.
Oh, great. It's like somebody said Minesweeper wasn't bad enough.
It is so it is so much fun. I'm not kidding. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, one more puzzle. And then I'm there an hour later and I'm just having a blast knocking all of these puzzles out. And there's a 3D version of it called Picross 3D, where it is the graph in 3 dimensions and it makes shapes and stuff like that. But that's an actual game that's like $30 or $20 or something like that. This is free, so go download it, have a blast. Anyone listening, go download the Pokemon Picross. I think there's like a Zelda one too.
Nice.
Yeah, and it incorporates like Pokemon stuff. Like you actually catch Pokemon in the game that do special things for your puzzle. Like the Squirtle will squirt it and it will reveal 2 rows for you. And then with deduction, you figure out which ones are X's, which ones are filled in. And then by the end, it creates a picture. So I don't know. That's what I've been playing. But yeah. Have you seen movies or anything like that?
No, I have been nowhere this week.
Nowhere. Yeah. No, me either. There's nothing on TV. I think what I'm gonna do is end up. There's one show that I just haven't really seen. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes of, but I want to watch the full thing now that Narcos season 2 is out. I want to see all season 1, all season 2.
Nice.
Because most people that talk about it love it, but never really been into those kind of things. Like I watched Blow, but I didn't get the same thrill that everyone else did. So
Yeah.
yeah. Just kind of wasn't my thing. But
Did you ever see what was it? Traffic.
yeah, I saw Traffic. Those I don't know. Those the
Sa-
drug cocaine movies just don't do anything for me.
yeah, same thing, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, it's cool. I don't know. But Narcos, I guess the other ones were true too, like with Blow. But uh, the fact that it's like a true story of what happened during that whole thing, and I only know like the headlines of it. I don't know everything,
Right.
anything else to do with it besides the headlines. So I love that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to dive into it, knowing that it's only 2 seasons and that's it. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'll be doing this weekend. But we got some movie news here. You go ahead and take the first one here.
Yeah, so we found out that Joe Manganiello is going to be playing Deathstroke, and that it is going to be in the Batman film. It's not going to
Yes.
be in the Justice League film,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
and I'm down with that. I think that'll be good.
He is a Batman level villain, not a Justice League level villain.
Agreed.
Yeah, you don't get the whole Justice League. Maybe like Teen Titans level, of course, villain, but not Justice League.
Right.
I see him doing the Batman, and then of course like maybe the Teen Titan. But yeah, that's perfect for Batman. Now, didn't we hear before like he was gonna be someone's gonna let someone loose in the Arkham, you know, in Arkham Asylum, and that Batman would have to go after a number of villains, or is that just like people talking?
I think that was just people talking.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's what I thought. Yeah, no, Deathstroke. That sounds perfect. That sounds great.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Ryan Potter, the guy who voiced oh, what was the kid's name in Big Hero 6?
Just say the kid. Most
Yeah,
people know who that is.
I did. I totally blanked on his name. He put up like a little stunt fight video to like campaign to be Robin,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, all right, sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, the dude had some moves. Give
I
him a
guess it'd
shot.
be the new Robin.
Yeah, whatever one they're on now.
Maybe they do Damien. That's the Robin they should do, but they can't skip Tim Drake because he's important too for
Right,
Titans and whatnot.
right.
Or maybe he has done the three Robins. Who knows? We don't know. Because there was nothing mentioned of that. They just showed the damn thing and that's it.
Right.
We got no. Oh, that's frustrating. All right. Um. Yeah, we got some Flash news. Billy, is it Crudup?
Crudup, I think.
Crudup?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reportedly joining the film in an unannounced role. So
Yeah.
who's this Billy guy?
Billy was Doctor Manhattan in Watchmen.
Oh, okay. I thought he was gonna be what's his name's dad. He's gonna be the Flash's dad.
Well, he could do that in this. I mean, he could be that in the film, but I mean, we don't
Oh,
know.
okay. I thought I read that.
I don't know. This was from a couple days ago. That might have changed.
Okay, yeah. Billy Crudup will play Barry Allen's dad in the Flash solo movie because I remember seeing the
Oh,
picture and I saw the uh the the Captain. What's his name? The Atom.
yeah.
Why is my mind going blank? Who did he play in Watchmen?
Doctor Manhattan.
Doctor Manhattan. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the picture of him in the Flash. I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be his dad.
Yeah.
Makes
Cool.
sense. He's his right age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We got this is some odd news. Stan Lee, Fox acquires rights to comic book legends' life story. Says film will be an action adventure film set in the 70s.
Yeah. Sure. Why not?
What?
There's no writer, there's no director, but the studio is saying they almost want him to be kind of like Roger Moore's James Bond.
I'm really kind of upset that Fox acquired the rights and not Disney.
You know,
I want them to be able to mention everything. And now it's like they're gonna probably focus on just like the X-Men.
sure.
I don't know. I'd rather Marvel. I'd rather Disney have done it. Fox is just that's gonna be weird.
Well, maybe Disney can do the Jack Kirby film.
There you go. There you go. Oh yeah. Uh, so we got some. Well, I don't know. Yes, I wish that too. But when I think Jack Kirby, I think more Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer. I know he
Right.
did a lot of things, but that's what I think.
It'd be a real scoop if Warner Brothers did it because of his New Gods work.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That'd be interesting.
You're right. For Wolverine 3, Bryan Singer confirms that Mr. Sinister as the villain for the upcoming film.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking.
Yep. So I mean that's what was the ending of Apocalypse. So
Yeah,
it
the
makes
the
sense.
Essex Corp. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean this would lead into Wolverine having a clone and the whole DNA stuff, and that's what Mr. Sinister's all about.
Right.
It's trying to perfect things. So definitely looks like that's going to be X-23. Like that's has to be confirmed now, right?
I think pretty much. Yeah.
So what do you think Hugh Jackman does after this? Do you think that's it? He's going to hang up his claws and call it a day? Do you think he'll ever return?
I think only if there's a deal between Marvel and between Disney and Fox. I think then he finds a way in as Wolverine. I think if
Yeah.
not, he still cameos in a Marvel movie. I think they can't, like, they could just bring him in just
Oh
to have
yeah.
him walk across the set and somebody kind of looks at him and he just like raises an eyebrow or something.
Oh yeah.
Like
He
they
could totally. All they have to do is do Old Man Logan,
yeah.
and he's still going to be crazy buff. He's on like the Rock's level with working out.
Right.
Um, yeah. So they could easily timey wimey Old Man Logan, him just show up, and like you said, just a cameo of standing on the street corner or something like that. That's all people need.
Right.
They
And
they
just
want that crossover, or like like you said, him tipping his hat to Captain,
right.
like
Or
Captain recognizing him or
yeah.
something.
But bumping into Tony Stark, just being like, "Watch it, bub."
Right, right. Or
Yeah.
Spider Man.
Or Spider. Yeah, there you go. Now you're talking.
That'd be perfect. Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely. If there's two people I'd want to see him interact with, it's Spider Man and Cap.
Yeah.
He's always seemed a little bit closer to them. But let's see here. We got some Predator news. Benicio del Toro in talks to star in upcoming reboot.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
I like this news. I think this is good. I like Benicio. I like the idea. I mean, if this is where they're going with it, then okay. Bringing on more people like him. There was God, who was rumored to be in talks for this? Was it James Franco? I think
Um,
it was like him. I think it was him. And I was like, why?
wasn't it Ashton Kutcher?
It could have been him too, but I mean, it was somebody like that. It was just somebody like, why this person?
James Franco. James Franco and Seth Rogen star in The Predator.
Hey, you know what?
I'd do it. I'd love that. That'd be great. Like that would be. I know that would never happen, but in Earth 2, and somehow they get the rights to the Predator, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're doing like a what is it, the Men in Black and the 22 Jump Street? What if they were just like, what if the Predator crash landed in like their apartment or like I don't know their beach house that they're all going on vacation to get stoned with their friends at or something, like and then freaking out in the woods because the Predator. Like I would pay good money to see that
I
actually.
right?
You know what? They're not doing that much with this series right now.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Alien or anything like that, but Predator would be cool like that.
I don't know, man, because then Alien could get the munchies, and like that would just be a whole other thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. It gets in their stomach, and I don't know, like it just gets a fucked up alien that comes out coughing and it's
It
really
pops out
slow.
that looks like Tommy Chong.
Right, exactly. Man, they could spin that in so many ways.
It could work. There's definite potential there.
Oh yeah,
I'm amazed
absolutely.
they haven't done something like that for like Alien movie or something. Like
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like,
there's the next one. Damn it, I called it.
well,
I
didn't no, there is a movie where aliens do land and someone finds them. It was
Evo,
Simon and Peg, right?
I yeah.
Or
I'm
Simon, not Simon and Peg,
Simon
Simon
Pegg.
Pegg. Alien. What was it? It was him and Nick
Yeah,
Frost.
you're thinking of
Paul,
worlds. Oh yeah, Paul. Damn,
Paul.
I totally forgot Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And World's End's kind of like that. That's what I mean. Like,
I,
the,
uh,
the
yeah, a little bit.
And that there's only a few movies like that, but I guess they don't really do too good, do they?
I not really. Well, I mean the Cornetto movies were never blockbusters to begin
Right.
with,
That's
but
true. That's true.
yeah, Paul. Like I liked Paul. I forgot about Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
But I no, I meant like in the same vein of like superhero movie or and all that nonsense.
Right, right. Like just crazy outlandish. Yep.
Uh,
You know what I saw a trailer for
what?
this weekend? And I remember you saying there's absolutely no way they're doing a sequel.
What?
50 Shades Darker.
Oh well, I know they're doing the whole trilogy. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it bombed, or maybe it wasn't you. It was someone else then.
No, man, it made ridiculous money. Are you kidding?
Oh, okay. See, my bad. I was like, wait a second. I thought someone told me there was no way they were doing this because it bombed.
Oh no, they're doing all three.
Oh yeah, maybe it just got bad reviews. That's all it
Well,
was.
yeah, because it was awful. I mean, it was genuinely just junk.
Yeah,
But
no, I never saw it.
I mean, I just oh man,
Yeah.
it was one of those things that I was like, all right, if I'm gonna trash this thing, I have to watch it. It's like I don't want to, but if I'm gonna talk about it, I have to watch it. And it was just awful. Like I mean, putting aside the, any and all of the source material and this and that, just looking at it as its own film, it's just terrible. It's
Yeah.
genuinely just awful.
Yep. Did you see that? Uh, real fast. I know we're gonna get to more news. Did you see that IMDb put out like a most popular Emmy nominated drama series by the state?
No, what?
Yeah, I saw Florida got Game of Thrones. I guess Game of Thrones is the most popular.
Hang on, wait, let me find my surprised face. Were there any surprises anywhere?
South Carolina is Mr. Robot. North Carolina is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There's no real big surprises. Uh, Downton Abbey is up north. They love it up there. Uh, Game of Thrones pretty much got it a lot of the other places. The Americans is huge in Texas because what are those Russians up to? We got to figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, no, it just seems like the North loves Downton Abbey. The big, populated states like California, Florida, New York, they all love Game of Thrones. Um, uh, South Carolina looks Mr. Robot. Alabama. I don't know. Just some. I thought it was odd. Better Call Saul is popular somewhere, but I don't see it. It's on the list here,
Okay.
and like it's listed like two states picked it, but I just don't see it anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. I guess it was the most decorated Emmy award winning show of all time, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's at what, like 40 something now, I think.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's just madness, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
just crazy.
absolutely great. Totally deserves it though. I mean, I honestly, that's my favorite show of all time, and I think in 50 years from now, people are going to still look back and go, "That's probably the greatest show that's ever been created." Since, well, I don't know, maybe something else better comes out. But since the
I think it'll be up there for sure. I think objectively, you can't look at Game of Thrones and not think it's incredible. You may not like it personally, but
right.
from an actual production standpoint, it really is incredible.
Yeah, I think it has to be in that conversation. Obviously, personal opinion's going to waver. I'm sure there's a lot of classic television where people are going to go, no, that was the greatest show. But I'm sure people will be like Seinfeld, and everyone's going to have their opinion. But man, Game of Thrones has to be in that conversation, at least of like top five. Um, but yeah, especially with that many awards, Jesus, the most awarded drama series of all time. So anyway, back to movies. Let's see here. Where were we at? Oh, we were at Dune. Go ahead and take this one.
Yeah. So in what should be strange news, but somehow doesn't sound like strange news. Denis Villeneuve, who's the guy doing Blade Runner 2,
Mhm.
has said he wants to take a swing at a Dune remake.
Okay.
More power to you. I think why not? Because now, here's the thing. It's why Ender's Game was made now, for better or worse. It's why we're starting to get better, sci-fi in film is easier to do now. You can go bigger, you can go broader. You could do something like Dune now,
Yeah, that's true.
and it wouldn't look like that.
Right.
Because that was, yeah, boy, I'll tell you, it was.
Yeah, it wasn't even just the look of Dune. To me, it was everything.
Yeah,
It was just them talking over it, the narration at the beginning. Nothing got grabbed me. It's not like, for example, Lord of the Rings. They were so worried about, it's going to open up and there's going to be someone talking and explaining the universe. But that did it in such a good way, and it didn't outlast its welcome.
right.
Yeah, and it didn't. Oh man, the Dune was just unbearable.
Well, because it just, I mean, it was just, oh, yeah.
Yeah. There were so many issues with it, but yeah, so like a totally new weird take on it. Why not? Yeah, it's something that didn't exist before, like, the possibility of it, and now it exists, so I'm happy for people if they, big Dune fans, they want to. This is at least this is a conversation that can get started and get people talking and hopefully get done for them. Me, I
Right.
could, like you said, I could care less. It didn't exist before, now it's going to. All right, I'm in. I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
And I mean, there's enough material there to make it a. I mean, you could, if you did this right, you would have a huge, huge long running franchise here.
Right, right. You know what series one of my buddies read, and it's his favorite series of books he's ever read, and I'm surprised it's not been made into anything. And maybe we've talked about it before because I don't understand. Okay, I'll just go out and say
What,
it.
the Wheel of Time?
The Wheel of Time. Yeah,
Yeah.
has it ever been made in like? Did we
They
talk about it becoming a series?
we have because the rights keep seeming. It seems like the rights keep bouncing.
Okay.
Like that's. I know there was news on it months and months ago,
Okay.
but I mean that's the thing. Like somebody will pick it up, and then it just kind of goes nowhere, and
Right.
it's been like that forever.
Oh, okay. All right. I see that on April 29th, 2016, Harriet McDougal confirmed that the legal issues has been resolved and that a TV series was in development. It doesn't say. It says a spokesperson for FXX stated that the channel was paid to air the show, but Stephen hinged that it was indeed produced with the future series in mind. We think that there's a huge demand for the television series. Internally, we're looking forward to, so maybe it's going to be on FX. I'm not sure. Um, it doesn't really say who has the rights to it. It just
Right.
says. Oh, it says in February 2015, a pilot episode titled Winter's Dragon, based on the prologue to The Eye of the World, was aired on FXX. It starred Max Ryan. Oh, so there was like a thing.
Right, but then it got shut down because nobody knew who owned it.
Oh, okay, but it says it aired.
It
So it's
aired, and then somebody was like, "Well, wait a minute, you can't do that." Oh, it's been a mess. It's been
oh,
just an
okay.
absolute mess.
Oh, I want to see that pilot then. Oh, it looks terrible. I'm fast forwarding through it.
I,
It's one of those like unlike Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones you can tell they had real sets.
yeah,
This looks like fake sets, and when they get everything's really close, so you can't. It doesn't look like a big world.
sure.
It's really close up shots, which I guess works for a pilot. Oh man, that just looks bad.
Well, you have no budget for one thing.
That's true. That's true. See, it's HBO was like, okay, we have a ton of money. Here we go, throwing it all at this, and it paid off.
Yeah, and boy, did they throw all their money at it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Same with AMC. With The Walking Dead, that was
Yeah,
another gamble that they luckily came, out good with.
right.
So yeah, who knows? I mean, that series, I just keep like on my Twitter, on everything else, I keep seeing people like, oh, just picked up. I'm gonna start this huge, Wheel of Time series, and then a month or so later, they're like, this series is amazing. I can't put it down. So, have you read any of it?
I have not
You're
actually.
too weary to get into it because it looks like a lot.
Well, I mean, my thing is just like I always wind up going to something else. Like it's on my list, but I'm not like I'm in no hurry to get there.
Right, right,
I'm
right.
still, because I tried uh, what was it? Wizard's First Rule,
Okay.
and I forget the overarching name of that series, but I did
Wizards
that.
of Waverly Place.
I
I'm serious. Isn't that the?
no,
I'm just kidding.
no, no. But I'll tell you what that'd be. That would have been an interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's the sword and the truth. The sword
thank
of truth.
thank you. That's it. Yeah, Terry Goodkind.
Mm,
And I've gone through what like three of those books I think, but there's just so damn many of them.
right.
And I started either the third or the fourth. I can't even remember. And I was like, I was just worn out because
Yeah.
they're all just so long. They're good. It's a good series, but just damn. I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, I want to try out the Wheel of Time. I heard it was, and I've been listening. I'm so weird. I've been listening to this podcast. Uh, uh, okay. Side note, we'll get back to the movies and stuff real fast. But there's this podcast I've been listening to for years called Talking Comics. They have another one called Talking Games, and the guy who and they have like a whole bunch of other ones, but I won't bore you with all of them. Those are the two main ones that I listen to, and he started a new series of podcasts where he's basically sat down, and it's called Adventure Dragons and Dungeons Podcast, where him and his friends sit down and they do Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, and they record it, and in post he edits in a little bit of music, maybe like the sound of horses when they're like traveling, the
right.
sound of wind, like little cool audio things, and they kind of voice out like their little adventure. And so it's funny because I know the people doing it and like their personalities, and then it's funny to hear them kind of talk in their character's voice, and it's hysterical. I know that sounds so goddamn cheesy, but it's a great podcast. And so like I've been listening to that, I've been watching a lot of more fantasy stuff. That's why it's got me interested in reading um the Wheel of Time. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the first book in that series? Is it
The Eye of uh the Eye of the World.
the Eye of the World? We should do that. We should start our book up again.
We should. I'm down to read that.
Sure, let's just do it.
Let's put it on this week.
Yep.
It's a big book. Now I know
It
that's no trouble for you.
well, it may if it takes two, it takes two.
Right, right, no pressure. So I have a few days off this week actually. So
Oh well, hell,
um
there you go.
yeah, I'll probably just pick this up tomorrow morning and just start it out. So, yeah, man, yeah, I've been wanting to do it for a while. I even have it on audiobook. So,
God, I'll
uh,
bet it's like a 27-hour audiobook.
yeah, it's huge. But once one gets me, it's always with the Star Wars ones. Once they get me, they get their hooks in me, I'm hooked. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping to do with this.
there you go.
All right. Well, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more movie news, get into the rest after that. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And what I was thinking about the Stan Lee thing. I was going to say Jim Lee. I think a few weeks back I talked about like I would love a Stan Lee movie now that I think about it, but I much more prefer like a TV show, like set in that time period on like AMC or something. Him and Kirby are like just behind the scenes at Marvel Studios.
Basically, like a Mad Men for
Yes.
comics. So
Oh yeah.
you're kind of looking for an adaptation of the what was it? The untold stories of Marvel Comics.
Yeah, yeah,
There
exactly.
was what was the guy that did? Damn, I read that book. Uh,
Did I? I don't think I read that.
if oh man, if you haven't, you should.
Yes, that sounds exciting.
I mean, it's a history of like from when it started, up through Timely to Marvel and all the like. It's a very behind the scenes. Like there's no punches pulled.
Yeah, see, that's what I want.
Yes.
And because Mad Men was great because it dabbled in that stuff, but like a story just about that or DC or whatever, like anything. Actually, I would way prefer Marvel because their story was just much more interesting,
Yeah.
of how it all came about and everything. So, oh man, I wish something like that happened. But anyway, where are we at? We got some Toxic Avenger news. Conrad Vernon, from Sausage Party to direct big budget remake of '84 uh, cult classic. You remember Toxic Avenger?
I barely.
It was the studio. Oh, why did my mind go blank? It was starts with a T. Oh, what was the studio that made that?
Uh,
The studio that it was before, like the Sci-Fi Channel did bad movies.
oh, um, yeah, you're gonna have to look it up.
It's where what's his face? Oh, Trauma Entertainment. That's it.
That's it.
Yes, Trauma Entertainment. That they make some awesome weird movies. Like totally weird. I think they also did like Trey Parker's Cannibal, the musical.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. Yeah, they've done a lot of weird movies. I don't even know if it's still like around, but yeah,
Uh, I, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they make some weird movies. Those are definitely some, pick up if you ever see them. Those were great, like going to Blockbuster and you'd see those weird films. They were the ones that like you just never heard of, and they were just weird monster movies. Uh, Total B movies, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Now, this I thought was some interesting news. Chris Benoit is getting a biopic directed by Lexi Alexander, who did Punisher Warzone, which I actually liked. It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
that
it was
recently.
yeah, it was surprisingly not a terrible movie.
Exactly. And I heard her on a podcast. I just can't think of whose podcast I heard her on. I don't know if it was one of the comic book ones I listened to or if it was like Steve Austin or something. I forgot whose podcast I heard her on
Right.
talk about it. Um, but this is interesting. Now, obviously they picked Chris Benoit because his story just goes batshit crazy and it's super sad and everything that happened and transpired was just tragic all the way around.
Right. It's
Um,
based on a book too.
See, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
so
What was it? It was Ring of Hell or something.
okay, so that makes a lot more sense. That it was based off a book, so they have
Right.
this story they can follow. It's not just like
Right. They have a blueprint.
right. So that's interesting. I absolutely, of course, want to see that. I'm wondering how everything's going to be portrayed. Um, what What do you think about this? I should
I
ask first.
I think this is a story that needs to be told. I think it
Oh
needs
yeah,
to be told a lot, and I think it needs to be told loudly.
yeah. And see, I guess I'm ignorant to a lot of it because I only know the headlines. This was at a time where I didn't watch wrestling,
Yeah. Well,
so
okay. So what happened? The first thing anybody knew was was Benoit no showed a pay per view.
okay.
Just didn't whatever the ECW show was. Didn't
CM
call
Punk. He was
nothing.
going to fight CM Punk, right?
Right.
Yes.
Or he was
It was CM Punk. I remember that because I watched some CM Punk thing over the weekend before I watched his pay per view thing.
right. I just didn't know if he was that's right because it was supposed to be was he take did Punk take his place or did John Morrison take his place?
John Morrison took his place.
Okay, and that was
CM
when
Punk was going
more
to fight Chris Benoit. Yeah, it was going to be.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. But so that was the first like nobody knew what happened. And then the news started coming out that apparently all of this stuff had happened and the reports were conflicting at first. Was it a home invasion? What happened? Blah blah blah. And then they found out, no, it was this horrific double murder suicide.
Now, did Raw do one of those like
They did because they didn't know the details yet.
I remember that. I
Yes,
remember
they
seeing that. I remember tuning in thinking, are they going to talk about it? They did the whole memorial thing, and it must have been like that week they all knew.
it was just it was like the next day that it came out, like, oh no, it's not that he's dead, it's that this is what happened. And
Right.
so immediately, like, there was no more, you will never hear the name Chris Benoit again, ever. Like
Right.
that, as soon as that came out, they were like, no, it's done. And WWE, they've put in their their attempt at concussion protocols, like the NFL's attempt at concussion protocols, but
Right. And then look what they did with Randy Orton.
right.
And the fact that he missed this pay-per-view just screams that that was a problem. They should have just cut the guy's face with a razor blade like they used to.
Right.
And guess what? He would have made the show on Sunday, and it would have been that was the only. We'll talk about that later, but that was
Yeah.
the only match where I was a little bit like, eh,
Yeah.
where everything else was just off the wall. So yeah, and it's obvious what they were trying to do. They were trying to oh well UFC, there's all this talk about UFC, let's show them how real wrestling can be. That's what it felt like.
Well, and it was the idea of, hey, look, Brock Lesnar's a monster. Brock Lesnar does
Right.
whatever the Brock Lesnar wants to do, and so on and so on. But that
Right.
was,
Right.
but this, and this whole thing has been, it has sparked so many different investigations. There was one, there was the big, it was kind of the second big steroid investigation
Hmm.
since the last time. What was this? The early '90s, I guess it was, when
Hmm.
McMahon went on trial, when he had to testify before Congress and did that whole bit.
Oh yeah.
This uncovered, this sparked some changes in the wellness policy,
Hmm.
uh, you know, and how much of those things are actually concrete, how much of those guidelines are still being followed is
Hmm.
debatable.
Hmm.
It depends on who you ask, really.
Yep.
But it's the idea that this, look, here is the danger of this. It's why they're being sued by like 50, I think it's 50 former competitors who are
Yep.
like, hey, we've all had traumatic brain injury,
Hmm.
and you didn't do jack.
Right.
So now we want what we're owed. And to, not just for the, from a health and safety standpoint, to put a spotlight on, look, this is how the spiral happened, and there's no, you know I I I hate to say, there's no negative way to spin this, just because it ended in such a tremendously tragic fashion.
Hmm.
But I mean, there is, if it does nothing else, it needs to highlight the fact that things, there has to be concrete change. It
Right. I mean, I think you know what movie just came out? Was it Concussion? Where
it,
like it goes, it like most people heard about it on the news, but maybe they just heard the headline, kind of like I did. But when you see that film and you're just like, oh shit,
right, and
you
you
know,
you
maybe this does the same thing.
right, and I would hope so. But I mean, concussion came out last year, and look at, the NFL's choice of when they decide to enforce their concussion protocol, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and WWE is the same way. It's not a concrete thing. It's something that they can move the needle one way or another. It's like their wellness policy. They can decide, did somebody actually, I mean, hell, Lesnar got busted for steroids for the UFC. I don't
Hmm.
I don't care what kind of banned substance jargon they use. He juiced. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Did WWE say anything about it? Even though this would have also been a clear violation of their wellness policy? Not a word.
I love that when he came out to the ring, it
Giant
said
sign.
got juice.
Big sign.
Yeah, got juice, and like even Randy Orton made a comment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
no
like it's
enhancement needed.
right. Like it's weird because they hold Roman Reigns accountable. taking a month off.
Right,
Man.
Paige, Alberto Del Rio, and
Yep.
Del Rio was even like, screw this, I'm going to England. Bye.
Right. Right.
Eva
Exactly.
Marie, of all people, you're gonna
Well,
bust it.
she had Adderall. Hers wasn't
But I mean,
steroids.
just the thing of like, oh, we're gonna be picky about which
Right.
superstars and which substances, and it's, I
And when they
mean,
have a prescription, like a doctor prescribes it, and they can show that, that just seems a little like,
right?
wait, you're still gonna get 30 days, even though it's like a legal thing that you have. You just didn't give it to the right person in the company. That
It's
seems absurd.
right, and that's what I mean is that it needs to be something more concrete than just, oh, we as a self-governing body make our own rules. That's
Right.
never gonna work out.
And if you think about it, they have that wellness policy. Oh, you're banned for 30 days, but we're going to take one of our performers and then crack their head open
Right,
to the point where they can't perform for the next month?
right.
Like, what kind of backwards shit is that?
Yep.
It's totally backwards. So yeah, I mean, you know what film, the biopic that I can't wait for, and it's not going to happen until he's dead. Vince McMahon.
That's that's a movie we may never see because his family may derail every project like that out there.
Yeah, because that would be something. That would be something special.
That would that's a life story I would love to see.
Yeah, just through this whole thing and all the way back since he was a kid, watching his dad do it in the territories and everything
Yeah.
else, all the way until now, the empire that he created. And
Based on a broken promise.
wait, what?
He when he took over what was then the WWF from his dad Vince Sr., he promised him he would not expand.
Oh, okay,
And of
gotcha.
course, then went on to conquer the world.
Right.
So, hey, from a business standpoint, two thumbs up. But
Yeah, it only makes sense for him to do that, but yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, so this is a thing that's getting made, and it's going to be interesting to see the response.
Who do you think's gonna play him?
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
either.
I I I don't know. Maybe if Adrian Brody grew like stubble, like he was just kind of
Yeah,
first thing that popped into my mind. I don't know
you're
why
right.
exactly, but I don't know, man. I can't really think of anybody who'd be a good fit.
A lot of people were talking about who's the guy who plays um, Sabretooth?
Oh, Liev Schreiber.
Schreiber. Yeah,
Uh, uh,
he's a little too tall,
yeah.
but
I don't know. That's not a terrible choice.
Ben Foster. No,
Nah, I
looking at
don't
the
like
list
that.
here. Liam Hemsworth.
Nah, I don't want a Hemsworth. That wouldn't work at all.
Yeah. Um,
Now you,
saying Channing Tatum is Johnny Nitro. What culture?
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You need somebody who's a little older. You're
John
gonna
John Berthenol is as Eddie Guerrero.
that I tell you what. That's it. If it weren't for the terrible whitewashing, that wouldn't be a bad idea either.
Right. Matt Damon is Kurt Angle.
All right, now I'll get behind that. I'll
Yeah,
I'll
that
get
sounds.
right behind that. Hell yeah.
Ed O'Neill is Stu Hart.
Oh, oh, that's lovely. I like that.
Natalie Portman as Stephanie McMahon.
Sure.
Mark Ruffalo as Bret Hart.
Yeah, yeah, all right.
Eric Roberts as Vince McMahon. And I don't know, Adrian Pellichelli as Nancy Benoit. Now, did you know that Nancy Benoit's sister was on the Chris Jericho podcast recently?
Really?
Yeah, to talk about everything.
How
I
about
only
that?
caught the first 20 minutes and I had to go. But
I'll have to find that.
yeah, apparently they break down that day. They break down.
Wow.
Yeah, they talk about what some of the conspiracy theories were, and of course what she thinks of them. But we gotta take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more about movies and this. So, again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the M.FM, and we'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the M.FM and the N.FM. And we were talking before we went to the break about Crossface, the Chris Benoit movie, and kind of like who we'd think who should play in it and whatnot. I don't know, man. I guess you got to have Eddie Guerrero in there, right?
You have to. I mean that was about as storied a friendship as you get.
Right, exactly. I can't think of who out. Like, of course, his family.
Dean Malenko, you've got to have somebody in there for Dean Malenko too.
Dean Malenko, Vince. What about Chris Jericho?
Probably.
Probably. I'm trying to think of the people that. And Vince, do you think the WWE's they have to be suing? They have to do something to stop it, right? Or no?
I wonder if they can.
Right, they probably couldn't. It's such public,
Right. I mean, that's just I don't know.
I guess if they get too far into the, starting making stuff up and slander, maybe, I don't know.
Right, but I mean man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because you'd have thought they'd have stopped the book from coming out first.
That's true. That's true. Let's see here.
And you have to wonder, if they decide to try to put a stop to it, what does that say about them?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I understand their viewpoint of this is what happened, and we don't think this should be discussed, blah blah blah. But I think that's the wrong attitude.
Now, was CM Punk around the same time as Chris Benoit?
Yeah, towards the end.
Towards the end. Why is it saying here, despise the limited role, as with both CM Punk and Johnny Nitro? Did they have a feud with him or something? Oh, never mind. What am I talking about? We just talked about it.
Yeah,
CM Punk was going to fight him.
Right, that was the match.
Oh man, I wonder if they put CM Punk in the movie.
I don't know.
Why hasn't he gone to acting? When I saw him big, with the way we'll get back into the movies in just a second. He looked like he could be a younger Wolverine. The way he did his chops.
If he did, If
he got into acting. But anyway, all right, let's get back to the movies. We got one last bit of news here for the movies. Underworld, Blood Wars trailer for the next film in the series is released. I didn't see it. Have you seen it?
Have you ever seen any of the Underworld movies?
Yes, they all blur together. I don't.
Yes, the trailer looked like, hey, look, it's more of this. It's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah. That's sad.
It is.
And it's the last one, right?
Well, they said that about the one before this, and the one before that, and the one before that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's like with Resident Evil, where the last one was supposed to have been the last one, but then the one before that one was supposed to have been the last one, too. So now this one's going to be the last one. I'll believe that when everybody else sees it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. We got some TV news. Black Lightning, which is my adult film star name, newest DC character to get pilot order from Fox. Now, wait a second. We talked about this last week. We didn't know where it was going to go.
Right, just that Berlanti's production company was working on it.
Okay, gotcha. So it's going to go to Fox to die.
Right, and then for season 2, it'll come to the CW on Fridays.
Yes, or somehow it might cross over with Batman, right? No?
Yeah, okay.
Gotham. You know what? People say what they want about Gotham. I have a little bit of love for it. It is so it mixes that line of the animated TV show and live action.
Right.
That it's kind of interesting. It's kind of goofy and it's kind of weird, and it's not something I watch every week, but I catch up with it. I'll watch 4 or 5 episodes in a row, and I'm just I like the direction they're going in. I just wish he was Batman already. That's the one big problem with the show.
Right.
It's the one major fucking issue is that it's this little kid, and it's not Bruce Wayne trying to figure shit out with everyone else. Honestly, seriously, it is campy, and it's supposed to be campy because, I guess going into it, I thought it was going to be a little bit more like Christopher Nolan's like a little bit more serious, and it's no. Like you look at some of the scenes, the way they shoot it, and it's very campy, very comic booky, and it's kind of perfect when you think about it.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Season 1 was meh. And I
Right.
have not seen all of season 2, but I think I've seen like the first half. And with season 2, like they just leaned into it.
Oh, they totally
They
lean
were
into it,
they were
especially the second half.
yeah, they were just like screw it. We're just going to own this.
Now, what part did you get up to in the second season?
Uh oh man, I don't even remember.
Did you get to the cult stuff?
No. I don't think so.
The new mayor?
No.
No, that's season two. That opens up with him trying
I
to
think I think like
commissioner or something. No, he's mayor.
right. I think like he had just been they had just arrested him. Like I don't think I made it halfway through season 2 yet.
Oh, okay. Because once you'll see, there's an ending story to him and the mayor and the wackiness that happens there, and then it just goes off the fucking deep end, like
Right.
crazy off the deep end. Because you've seen the parts now where he has like a team of people that he's trying to um cause mayhem
Right.
with the Joker and whatnot, right?
Right.
Yeah, so like once his story, and then what happens after that with basically the second part of the season, it has a lot to do with Arkham and stuff like that, and a lot of characters come back in the most fucking crazy ways. Yeah, it gets seriously animated series. Like you're like, okay, this is where we're going. It's just the only downfall is that it's wrapped around little Bruce Wayne, and I'm telling you, man, in the next season or two, they have to jump to older casts. They have to do that, or they're gonna lose so many people. I think.
Huh?
But I guess they're getting weird too. Didn't they say like Gordon's gonna be someone different from a comic book than
Well,
he?
he teased the thing of like he I don't know, like they haven't seen he hasn't shown a different side of Commissioner Gordon or a new personality of Commissioner Gordon or something. He
Right.
made some kind of really weird comment, but he was like, "What?"
Yeah, he said something along the lines of Commissioner Gordon is someone from the comic book series, and he hasn't yet revealed himself yet. They also said that Harley Quinn might have already been shown on the show, which clearly is Barbara Gordon.
Right, like that's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be cool. So like, I like how they're just doing a big old twist and making it completely different.
Yeah, I am totally down with them. Like, you know what? The comic mythology is cool, but we're gonna take the characters and do our own thing.
Yeah,
As
exactly. And apparently they're doing that with the Tall Tale series for Batman. That apparently there's some characters in that game that are it just completely throws the comic to the wayside, and in a good way where people are like, oh hey, okay, this is different, this is just its own little thing, and it's something to keep you interested.
well, you can kind of see that from episode 1.
I never played it.
Oh man, it
I
you
don't know the twist or anything. Apparently there is one where like there's a character or two that are just completely different.
there is at least one major character where when they show up, you're like, wow, I was not expecting that.
Oh, don't tell me because I'm gonna buy it
I
too now.
won't. You need to. Like the
Yeah,
season pass is what, $25?
yeah, it's nothing. So
Yeah, go do that because it is, and it is really good.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is seriously good.
I want to play it. Is there a few episodes out, or is it just one still?
Just one so far.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I like that. I like when it's a little bit different. It's just, oh, get the kid out of there. It's like watching
Right.
Star Wars, and you're like, can we just get to Hayden Christensen already? Even though, you know what I mean? Like it was just a better, even though it wasn't the best option, but it was better. It was like, okay, he can have lightsaber fights and stuff now.
Yeah, well.
That was not a good
No,
comparison.
that was really a bad analogy.
But you see what I mean? It would be better. It might not be the best, but I want to see a young Bruce Wayne in, doesn't even have to be in the Batman costume. I just want to see young Bruce Wayne, not a little kid going, "Oh golly, I'm getting screwed over by Cena Kyle." Like it just, I can't stand it. Alfred's great in it though. I wish just kill the kid already. Just have Alfred become Batman. Seriously, he is Batman. Like the way he
uh,
acts and everything. Oh man, that would be great. All right, so Legends of Tomorrow, Jonah Hex, returning in season 2.
yeah, dude tweeted a picture of himself holding the script. I was like, all right, cool. Still have to watch that show, but all right.
God, you need to see it. He
I
wasn't in the first season,
Yeah, he was.
was he?
Yeah, he was.
When?
Episode 13? 11 or 13.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, he was in the show.
Hmm. Hmm.
You've seen the show, and I know
I've
this
seen the
and you
whole
don't.
show. I do not remember him. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting things.
You must be, because I know
I
he was in the show.
maybe I skipped an episode.
You
I
must have.
I must have. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? He is in it.
Yeah.
I must have not seen that episode. Dude, it gets fucking bananas. All those shows just it literally it's like, oh, what's that old TV show where they're cowboys but there's like a time machine bomb. It was on Fox. The Adventures of
Oh,
Briscoe County.
what?
The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. Have you ever seen it with Bruce Campbell?
Oh, man. Like, decades ago, yeah.
Yeah, in the 90s, 1993 to 1994. It was one of my
Yeah.
favorite kid things, and now it makes a lot of sense why I enjoyed it because of Bruce Campbell. Oh yeah, and he had this sidekick guy, and like towards the end of the show, like it gets bonkers. Like they try to stop a time machine bomb or something. Anyway, we gotta take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more about TV. Come on, I know you've seen the whole thing, right? No?
What?
Well, you're just acting like you just heard of it, but you didn't watch it.
If I have seen it, it was before I turned like 8.
Oh man, that you gotta go back and watch that.
All right.
I'm curious if it still holds up. Well, anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more about some more TV news. You're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we still got a lot of TV news here to talk about. We just before the break we talked about Legends of Tomorrow, getting Jonah Hex back. That's awesome. Who else would you want in a TV show like that?
I I don't know, man.
I would want Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing would be cool.
I want the weird universe. Constantine, Swamp Thing, Dead Man, all of them. Want them in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my pick for Legends of Tomorrow. They're kind of going towards the direction of Justice Society, though, which should be cool, different, interesting. Let's see here. We got some Punisher news. Ben Barnes from Westworld reportedly cast as Bobby Saint.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Bobby Saint. Do you know who Bobby Saint is?
Bobby Saint was actually in one of the Punisher movies. I think it was the first one.
Okay.
He was I forget,
He was the son. No, he was close friends with the bodyguard. Wasn't he the son of um John Travolta?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
And he went on to be he's one of like the rare Punisher villains that has a supervillain name, I think.
Oh.
I think I may be wrong. I gotta check that.
Yeah, because the Punisher villains are all like regular mob names. It seems
right.
Like. I don't know.
I keep because I know there's like it's not
Jigsaw. No?
Right. It's like it's not Jigsaw, but he was.
Well,
No,
John Saint, the son of Howard Saint, the primary. No, that's not it. I don't know. I'm looking at Bobby Saint. It's only telling me maybe Robert Saint.
No?
Yeah. So Bobby would be Robert.
Right. Yeah, because Howard was the father. Remember
No
that.
dual identity. It says.
Nope, just him. All right. So.
Yeah. So it's just a son of a guy. They have casted. Oh man, they should just throw in someone. Maybe not all supernatural, not all comic book, whatever. Just a little bit, like the Shocker or something.
Yeah, but hang on. Jigsaw was Bobby's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, so that's maybe they're gonna use him as a way to introduce Jigsaw. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that could be.
Well, I don't
I
know.
can
It
see that.
helps if it's just hey, this is just the mob guy. Like that can work too.
Mm-hmm.
Like being grounded like they are and more.
Yeah.
I don't want to say procedural, but you know what I mean.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like that could definitely work.
Man, we're just a few weeks away from oh wow, why my mind just go blank. Luke
Luke
Cage.
Cage, yeah, end of the
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, man. Like what less
Two
than 3 weeks away. That's
two
crazy.
weeks.
Yep. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. We got some Agents of Shield news. Marvel Entertainment Vice President Stephen Wacker says another live-action crossover is coming.
Hooray!
So what does that mean?
Well, you remember how they had Sif from
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
like she popped up in what like one or two
Mm-hmm.
episodes. I imagine this is going to be a Netflix crossover. I think they're
Oh,
gonna have somebody from one of the Netflix shows on.
that would be perfect.
I really think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't oh I forget the actor's name. Didn't
The guy who plays Daredevil.
yeah, didn't one of them say that Luke Cage was their favorite growing up or something?
Uh,
Coulson didn't like the actor who plays Coulson say that like Luke Cage was his favorite and he would love to do a crossover with
might
him
have
or Daredevil. I
might have
forget.
been.
Yeah, I could totally see them doing that.
Yeah.
It only makes sense that they, hey, you guys want to come here for a day and shoot something? Okay, like it seems like it would. It doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal, but I guess it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their deals are with like.
Yeah, you get into like when you start looking at contracts and whatnot. That's when it gets weird.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just be like, hey, could you pay some money to do this? It's like, wait a second. I was contracted to do this show. You
Right.
would think they would be all up for it. Like, yeah, of course. Let's
And I imagine they are.
get some extra exposure.
Uh,
Yeah, I imagine it's definitely not in the hands of the actors. It's the
right.
studios and all the people behind the scenes going, is this legal? Can we do this without spending a lot of money?
Right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. Or like, what's good for their image? Are they going to have a lot of people wanting to cross over? Um, I imagine a lot of kids are not allowed to watch The Punisher, Daredevil,
Yeah, that's a
and Jessica Jones.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think especially Jessica Jones. That was the one that had like the most sex and stuff in it, right?
Right.
Seemed like it. Yeah.
And as we all know, that's a no-no. The violence, fine, but that no,
Oh
shame.
yeah, man. No, I can't tell you how many parents I know where like violence is a-okay, but if there's a titty out, oh shit,
Yeah,
that's it.
oh yeah.
That's it. Spoil. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how that works.
Right?
Yeah. Like I'm not all for like. Of course they shouldn't be showing, whatever kind of sexual acts and all that other stuff. But like,
Right, but I mean,
nipple here and there. That's. I mean, we had that growing up. Like I remember we had HBO, and that man, anytime a movie came on and there was just a hint of nudity, I was all in. I was like, yes, this is. We were like 8 years old. It didn't make you crazy. It didn't make you whatever. It was just like that extra, like, oh shit, that just happened.
right.
But violence, I mean, we'd sit there and watch Friday the 13th all day and it wouldn't do anything. Like it didn't, you know. But what I mean is that my parents didn't care. They're like, well, he's seen it. He knows it's fake. He knows it's not real. He's
Right.
fine. He doesn't have nightmares. He doesn't bother us. So it's okay. Where were we, man? I just went on a tangent about
Uh
watching Friday the 13th as a kid.
yeah, Stranger Things. We have some Stranger
Yes,
Things
Stranger
news.
Things. um, 3 new characters coming to season 2. Max, a 12 to 14-year-old tomboy. Her older brother, Billy. Roman Reigns, a 30-something male or female. What if it was Roman Reigns?
I would cancel my Netflix subscription.
Really? I've actually really liked Roman the last few weeks. I think he's put on a hell of a good show.
I'm not one of these people that chant "You can't wrestle." I'm one of these people that says, "Please, for the love of God, learn how to cut a promo."
Yeah. As long as
Um,
he doesn't talk, like that's the only problem. He
yeah.
just needs to stop talking,
Uh,
and and you know,
and for the love of God, Roman, do what your cousins did.
yes,
Embrace it. Make the turn. Go for it. It's going to work for them. And I
yeah,
mean, they already stole your wardrobe, so steal their gimmick. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. And
uh,
now they're doing the cheap shots, and it just and the smiles on their faces. It's perfect. And I honestly think that was the red herring. They are going to turn him. I guarantee you they're going to turn him.
you know,
I think that was the red herring, them testing the waters with the Usos to see if that's something people want to see, and all they have to do is have the Usos help him in some way,
all
shape,
they
or
all
form.
they have to do is listen to the internet for the last 6 months.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, the way. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, man. So anyway, yeah. So there's someone named 30. There's someone not blah. Someone named Roman that's 30, male or female. So that's cool. 3 characters. The show better come out next year early.
Right. Well, they did say 2017. So
Yeah, it can't come soon enough, man. Whoever I know earlier they were like Marvel was saying like, hey, we want to do more shows. We want to make this faster.
well, Netflix was saying
Oh,
that.
Netflix. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like, "Nah, man, we want to." These say, but there's too much space between them. We got to go.
Yes. So I mean, yeah, Netflix needs to throw a lot of money at the Stranger Things people and be like, all right, let's jump to this. But yeah, so we'll get some Star Wars Rebel news. Katie Sackhoff to reprise a role of Mandalorian Bo-Katan in season 3.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, what with her ties to Darth Maul and everything. It really helps to elevate the fact that he's gonna be one of the principals
Mm-hmm.
for season 3. It's gonna be interesting to see like how this works with Thrawn,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not gonna get along.
Oh
So
yeah, no
so
doubt.
it's gonna be what it's gonna be what are we gonna have a triple threat for the galaxy basically?
Pretty much,
Like,
that's what it seems like. So yeah, that's gonna be. I can't wait, man.
and the winner gets to be the Star Wars Universal Champion. Okay, sure.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go. Champion of the universe.
I
Did you know
hate my
saw John Cena made a belt when he was a kid? Champion of the universe.
I and then decided to follow up on that. Sure.
Yeah, no, like once I saw that in the documentary, I was like, holy shit. Someone sat down with John Cena and he showed him that picture because he talks about it on a few different things. He's like, yeah, when I was a little kid, I think he even talked about it on Told Divas. He's like, I made a belt. I had all the countries in the world and it said champion of the universe. And I think like Nikki goes, wouldn't you just be champion of the world? I don't know. Sorry, I got sidetracked there, but I thought it was funny and relevant. So anyway, um, yep. All right, what's next? Raven.
Yeah, Vince Gilligan is doing a mini series for HBO about the Jim Jones cult.
Ooh, that would be good.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Why does that name sound familiar?
The Kool Aid,
No, Vince Gillian.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. That's it. Yeah. No, I mean I know that the Jim Jones stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I watched a few documentaries on that. Oh, there was one like mockumentary where it's recent. I gotta get the name of it. Is it called Red? Um, Jim Jones here. Let me see here. There was like a documentary that came out not too long ago, but you know how it's like shot with the like camcorder to make it look real.
Right.
Um, damn it, can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me by the end of the show. Um, God, it was called Jamestown or Red. Um, I don't
Jamestown
know.
sounds familiar.
I think it was called Red, and basically it was. I don't know. I'll find it. But basically, it was a fake documentary about a group of people that go to this place, and it slowly unravels. Some people there are like, "Take me with you," like under their breath, very creepily, and it's super unnerving. It's super like when he starts to find out where the kids are and what happened to them, and you know, just it just starts slowly unraveling, and then of course you know what happens at the end, and it's just creepy. Like it's creepy how it gets to that level, and there's nothing they can do. But yeah, man. So, all right. So it's gonna be on HBO.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Let's move on to some video game news. You go ahead and take the first one here. Big
Yeah,
one.
we had the big PlayStation event this week,
Yeah.
and it didn't convince me to buy anything. Well, I mean, look, and they were very clear. Like I did love how they knew the perception, and they played right with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Neo we now know is the PS4 Pro
Mm-hmm.
support,
Jesus.
right? And that's their thing of like it's 4K and HDR compatible. This is for people who have invested in the high end. These are for this is a specialized system.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want a PS4, you can keep your PS4. Or you can buy a Slim, which coincidentally just happens to be coming out and should be in stores actually by now.
Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
300 for the Slim. What? 400 for.
yeah, which is and not bad prices.
We're I'm with you. Yeah, I was super bored. I had no interest in it when I saw the thing.
Yeah,
I have zero interest in buying a Pro. Like, think about how much money that is. $400. Now, to me, that's a lot of money. I know to some people it's not, but to me, that's I could go on a cruise for that money. I found a really good flight to Barcelona for $180 from Florida. Um, there and then 180 back. So that's a plane ticket to Barcelona if I wanted to go. And of
don't
course,
they
other
don't they
expensive.
still don't
But
they
like that,
do they
what's up?
still have the Oslo flights for like $80?
I don't know about that. I don't know if that still exists anymore. These are Norwegian something or another. I'm sure there's other fees where like you have to put up, you have to pay for the
Yeah.
bag or whatever.
I
But
just I just remember the big billboard was like right by my apartment.
I don't know if that just $80 to Barcelona doesn't. That sounds ridiculous. 180 I could buy, but not 80. But I mean, but think about that. Like you could go on a trip, you know, technically around the world or wherever to some other country, um, for the same price of buying a system that is the system you already have, just a little bit of better graphics. It's just fucking crazy to me. But you know what? This obviously isn't for us. This is not for people who invested in the PlayStation. This is not for anyone who has already purchased one, unless you have some super 4K TV and you absolutely. And the thing is, the games are still gonna be made the same. They're not gonna. They're not gonna. It has to have the same um, resolution. I'm sorry, the same uh, frames per second on each of them.
Right.
One can't be 60, one can't be 30. So there's no benefit for playing like first person shooters or anything like that. This is for the person who doesn't. The Slim obviously is for the person who's just now getting a PlayStation.
Right.
And the Pro is for the person just now getting the PlayStation that has a 4K TV.
Right. This is like if your games really aren't pretty enough,
Right.
here you go.
Right, and yeah, and this is for the little bit amount of people that already have a PlayStation 4 that just has to have the new thing. Kind of like there's a lot of people that do that with the Apples and the Androids, and they just need the new phone that comes out for no reason but to have it.
Right.
And hey, whatever. Maybe Sony just knows something we don't. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of Microsoft doing it, especially when it came out this week that the PlayStation 5 should drop somewhere around 2018.
That is way too soon.
That's what I was reading. A lot of these.
No. No, I don't buy that for a second.
We'll see.
We
We'll
don't
see.
we don't see a
What
new
wouldn't that be something? Would what would that say to someone who just spent $400 on a 4K
I
PlayStation?
yeah, that no.
I don't believe it, but it was like two or three different sources uh, that were stating that's where they're pointing to for a new system.
No.
Dude, I honestly think they should have just left it how it is, put out the Slim, and waited. And the reason why they were saying uh, 17 or 8. Maybe it was 18. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe it was 18. But the
That's
reason why they were saying that was because obviously Scorpio is the next Xbox. It is going to be pushed probably as the next Xbox, since it is going to be light years ahead of what the current Xbox is.
yeah. Well, so they say.
Well, it would only make sense that Sony prepares themselves to come out with a console to rival that.
No, no. I think that Sony. I believe that the PS5 is in development. I think the PS5 is in development before the PS4 is even finished.
Well,
But
the thing is,
but
let's look at it right now.
right,
Right now, if you were to compare the PlayStation 4K to the Slim of the Xbox S, the Xbox S is still even better because it can play like the Blu-rays, the high definition Blu-rays. So right now, those two systems head to head, both play 4K, both have the same insides, and the Xbox ironically can play the 4K Blu-rays and the Sony's won't.
right.
So right then and there, Xbox has the better system. So in a year from now, when they're saying the uh, Scorpio is going to come out, and it's apparently twice as powerful as what they have right now. Um,
So that means all the Xbox One games you've been buying over the last 3 years are suddenly obsolete.
Suddenly obsolete. Yes,
And
that's what's going to happen. Like,
right, and that's going
I
to
don't like it.
bite Microsoft in the ass.
Well,
If that's
and see the thing, I could understand why Microsoft would want to do that because their system is already bombed, but for Sony it makes no sense. They should have just left it alone. They should, and I know it was probably too late. I guarantee you Sony was like, "No, can we hit the eject button?"
right,
When they saw that stuff and they were like, "Let's eject it now and just do the Slim." It was already made. It was already ready to come out. It was already, created. So yeah, it's just to me it makes no sense because you have the lead. You've had the lead for so long now.
right.
Focus on the games. That's all people really care about. And in 2 years from now, come out with the next one so
Now
that it's a healthy life cycle.
nah, it's still too early. 2020, no earlier than 2020.
2020?
2020. Give it 4 more years.
Are you kidding me?
Not in the slightest.
No, that's way too much.
Nah, I don't think so.
When did the
Because
PlayStation 4 come out?
what? 2014, 13?
2013.
Okay, so 7 years. That's not that long at all. That's perfect. That is perfect. I will take a 7 year life cycle.
No, no, how long the? Oh no, man, that just. How many years was the PlayStation 3 out?
What? About
Since
the
the
same.
PlayStation 4 came out.
When did the PlayStation 3 come out?
Oh man, I'm not sure.
5, 6? It had a 7 year life cycle.
I'm not saying life cycle. I'm saying between system to system. So, all right. So PlayStation 3
Right.
was it 2006?
Yeah. And then 7 years later, the PS4 comes out.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And I'm okay. And then 7 years later, the PS5 comes out.
Yeah.
That's perfectly, and especially considering everything. Look, if Microsoft decides all of a sudden that next year they're going to drop the next Xbox, and suddenly all this Xbox One stuff has to go away now, and it's only whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah,
It's
I
no,
see them looking at PC
right,
and
and
they're going, look what they're able to do in such a short time frame, and for another 5 years on that outdated oh
but
man, that's not good.
you're not buying a new PC though. You're upgrading a PC, and also
But are
this
you? I mean, are you not buying? I'm saying, for example, the Scorpion, where you're supposed to be able to swap out parts.
yeah, like that's gonna happen.
It's a PC.
Right, but here's my other thing though. The infrastructure is such that past software is obsolete. There is no such thing as backwards compatibility at least in the beginning. And that's going to piss off a lot of people because they're not going to think about how far backwards compatibility for 360 titles has come. They're going to look at this and see, oh great, none of my Xbox One titles are going to work. Screw you, Microsoft. I'm going to Sony.
Right,
That's
but I mean,
that's
I think that's where PC has its biggest advantage is backwards compatibility. You can
right.
play.
And I totally understand that. But That's not what's going to happen with consoles. It's not going to happen with Xbox. It's not going to happen with PS5. It's not.
Let's mark it down. The
It's
date and the time that
yeah.
you said that's not going to
It's
happen
not.
yet. Their
It's not
next
going to happen.
system is a PC. It's something you can swap parts out for
If
and upgrade.
and that's fine if they want to do that kind of modular console, go for it. But unless, I mean, it's been so soon. They're gonna talk. I mean, they're talking 4 years. They're gonna announce it 4 years after the one debuts. Like, you got to be kidding me, right?
Well, did
That's
you
nothing.
expect this to happen?
I didn't. I'm not surprised, but I mean, given the
Huh.
way they launched the Xbox One with every feature that nobody wanted,
Right,
the
that's what I'm saying. Like I think we are in uncharted territory here. We are in a
right.
we are seeing these two consoles manufacturers make basically try and do the Apple route.
And
Uh,
the problem with that, the biggest problem with that is the software. That's the problem. You can switch out the consoles all you want, but unless you have backwards compatibility, you are just cheating the people who bought this stuff.
and it is going to have. I'm saying there is backwards compatibility between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, just like there is between the
Well,
iPhone
there's
5
no
and the
well,
5S. But you will get to a point where you'll get to a point where you can't play a game that comes out on, let's say, the PlayStation 5 that you could play on the PlayStation 4.
well,
And that's exactly how it is with the iOS as well. You can't play on an iPhone 4S the same game you can play on a 5S or a 6.
but I mean the the difference being that you can't.
And I know they're
It's
promising that we will not release a game that you can't play on the PlayStation 4 that you can play on the PlayStation Pro. Over time though, that's going to change, I
I don't
think.
think so. I don't think that changes.
With the 5 it will.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole other generation. The four no no the 4 and the 4 Pro are the same system, but the 4 Pro looks prettier. Like,
Uh,
that's why I don't like the 4 Pro. That's
it
why I just don't care.
it's
Be,
like the Nintendo 3D XL. They said we will not make a game and then look what they did. There's like 3 games that you can't play on the 3DS that you can only play on the 3DS XL.
I yeah, fair enough. But I don't like within the same generation. Yes, when they go to PlayStation 5, I don't see backwards compatibility. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it's another 4 years down the road, it's not going to matter.
Well, you're saying backwards compatibility. I think there will be backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5. I think you will be able to play your PlayStation 4 games on the PlayStation 5. Digital, all of that. Because now we're in that realm where digital downloads, it existed last generation, but it was so small compared to this generation and how many more people are downloading and going all digital. I think that either company, Sony or Microsoft, if they could figure out their next system to say, here's your new system, and by the way, any game that you downloaded for your PlayStation 4, your entire account is here. Any game that you have that you played, you can play it here. That would be huge.
That
I
would
don't
be
think I don't think it worked the opposite direction. I don't think like
no, no. You
obviously I
obviously
don't yeah.
you obviously can't play next gen stuff on current gen consoles. That's
Right.
never going to
But
happen.
backwards compatibility, if they are going to go this route where they are shortening the life cycle, I'm just saying if they did that, that would be a must.
It
I
would
mean,
yes.
I have so many games I purchased on the PlayStation 4. I don't want to have two consoles sitting there. I want one with like, I don't know, by that time it would be what, like 10 terabytes, but I would want my whole digital library there.
Exactly. But the problem is they're not going to do that. I will guarantee you want to write something down, write this down.
Microsoft's already done that
Right,
though.
they do that in stages. Like
Yeah, but
but I guarantee you, I will guarantee you right now, if
guarantee me.
I will
No, okay.
I
All
will
right.
guarantee you right now, if Project Scorpio is actually the Xbox 2,
Hmm.
for lack of anything less creative that they could come up with.
You don't think you'll be able to play Xbox One games on it?
Not at first, no. I think that they do wind up doing the same thing like they're doing with the 360 games, but I think that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be, oh, and by the way, all your Xbox One games It's like and Project Scorpio is backwards compatible with all Xbox One titles, and they won't do it because it's the smart thing to do. And for the last and we saw how well they handled trying to do the smart thing with this generation. It blew up so big in their face
Hmm.
that they had to turn a complete 180 to get to here.
I can see any company going, what is that's going to be, and I guess and there's going to be that guy that stands up in the boardroom going, we don't want them to play the older games, we want them to buy the newer games. I
Right.
get that, I
But
totally get that,
and
but that is a selling point. that
I
is that
I'm
is someone going, your entire library you can bring over.
I agree. And I'm telling you, it's the smart thing to do, and it's absolutely what they should do, and it's what they better do. But it's what they won't do because they do not possess that kind of sense. They're not thinking about that. They're not focused on the gamers for as much as they say they are. And I
Yeah.
hold Sony to a similar standard because I have a lovely PS3 library that I can't play, and I'm still pissed about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, you have to have it. It has to be at least the digital. I'm okay putting
Mhm.
out the physical. Fine. Can't play the discs. All right. But it has to be the digital. You have to say if you bought this game digitally, then you can play it on this. You absolutely have to have that kind of emulation. But
Yep.
but I don't think they do it. I don't.
Yeah. I hope you're wrong,
I
but
so do
yeah.
I. I trust me, I really
Still.
do.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we got some more video game news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And yeah, so we talked about the Sony PlayStation. A few things that I think we mentioned, or maybe not. Uh, the new Netflix and YouTube apps will have 4K content.
Yeah, okay.
I remember us mentioning everything else, but maybe I just didn't hear that. My bad.
Right. No, I
Um,
don't think we got to that. Which will
Gotcha.
include Luke Cage.
Which would include Luke Cage. Now, didn't they say something about everyone with the PlayStation's going to get like HDR support or something?
Yeah, the update that came out. I don't know if it was the update that came out yesterday, or if it's a near future update. I think it was with the 4.0 update
Hmm.
that it's going to make every PlayStation HDR compatible.
I don't even know what that means,
I
but
don't
okay.
either. I
Yeah, high dynamic range imaging. I don't know.
Right, sure. I More power to you. Rock on.
Yeah, I guess it's a specific kind of TV that you got to get.
Right, because not all 4K TVs are HDR TVs.
Right. Gotcha.
Like
Gotcha.
it's
Gotcha.
I Look, man, just let me win the lottery and buy a 77-inch smart ultra 4K HDR TV. Just let me buy one that's like
Get the
everything.
get the OLED.
Y-
That's the one you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one where you walk into the store and you're like, all these TVs look holy shit.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You look into the universe when you look in the TV.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the Big Daddy on the wall. It's like fucking $5,000 or something.
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
a winning lottery ticket. I will put that right in the living room.
Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, I've thought about what to do with the lottery ticket. I'd have like a South, or not South. I would have like a Star Wars hall where like the entire hallway, the rooms, everything Star Wars themed.
There you
The
go.
rest of the house will look normal, but that will be like the Star Wars hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have dreams. So, all right. Um, uh, Speaking of dreams, Nintendo company announces Super Mario Run, coming to the iOS in December. Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem mobile games delayed at first to the first quarter of 2017. Pokemon Go Plus coming September 16th. So if you're listening to this, it's like what, a day away. It's like Friday's coming out.
Yeah,
Um,
Friday.
yeah. So
J-
did you pre-order the Plus?
I did not pre-order the Plus. I thought about it, and then I went back the next day, and it was already sold out.
Yeah. Super Mario Run, that to me was the biggest surprise this weekend. Um, when I watched the Apple conference, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting Miyamoto to come out. Did you see it?
I didn't watch it, but I heard that when because I saw the thing of Miyamoto demos Super Mario app. I was like, what?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, they put on a show. They had Sia there. They had Miyamoto. They had like the guy who made Instagram. Like it was just like holy shit.
I have to check.
Um,
Yeah, I have to check that out.
yeah, yeah. Like their conferences. And it opens up with Tim Cook and was it James Gordon?
Oh, did they do a carpool
They
karaoke?
did a carpool karaoke and they started singing like One Republic and a few other things and it was hilarious. Yeah, he's like, "Hey, thanks for picking me up. I'm late for the conference." And then suddenly it pans over and it's him. I
Okay.
was like, "Oh, that's great."
That's
Yeah.
not bad. Because I know, like, the last few have kind of felt a little dry.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
No,
didn't.
this one they definitely
Nice.
like let's
Alright.
make this entertaining and make people like go, "Hey, I want to watch it." And I think they knew people were going to watch this cuz it was the 7 and no headphone jack and the water resistance or whatever. I don't know. They knew it was going to be a little bit bigger deal than the last one, so.
Right. So, no, I
Yeah.
mean, no excuse not to put on a show. Well, good. And
Yep.
I might actually go look that up.
Yeah, yeah. At least watch the first part. It was pretty funny. Um, and so let's see here. Yeah, so the Super Mario Run, like I absolutely want to play that. I know you can go into, and this was new to me, where like you could go into the store and it says uh, like almost like a pre-order for it.
Right. You get an email when it's available or something.
Yeah, it's like right up at the top, and when you tap on it, it says to alert you as soon as it's available, so that's
Interesting.
going to be cool.
Now, is it free or is it going to be a couple bucks?
Oh, it says notify. I imagine it's free to play, and then I imagine there might be like in-app. Oh yeah, offers in-app purchases. To what extent? I have no idea.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, um, Super Mario Run stickers. Wonder what that is. Um, I don't know. I don't know what you would purchase in the game. Maybe like extra lives or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Or like skins or who knows, maybe levels, upcoming levels. I don't know. Uh, you know what? I don't know if it's free to play. This might be. I could see this being a $10 game easy.
I don't know.
Obviously free would be the best, but I
Right.
think that
Or just a couple bucks. I don't know about $10.
I could see it easily being 10. I mean, they have Final Fantasy on here for $15,
Right. And
and I
nobody.
think Nintendo's more.
Well, but
I I think a Nintendo higher than Square Enix.
Well, here's the thing. The Final Fantasy games are the full games, and also I still say $15 is way too high for that.
Yeah, they are. They should be $8. I could see $8. I don't know. I see anywhere, but I see free. Of course, that would be fantastic to get
Right.
in. But I would not be surprised if it was $5 to $10, just because this is Nintendo and this is Mario, and they know they can charge it, and they know people will buy this. That is a guaranteed thing. Kids, everyone, adults, they're going to want to play Mario on their iPhone.
I say $3. If it's not free, they're not gonna go above $3.
I don't know.
I
Okay,
see.
all right.
I
We'll
see your
find out.
point.
We know your sweet spot. That's my sweet spot. I think it's $5 to $10.
Cool.
Um, just because this it's I see what you're saying. It's not an endless runner, but it's not like your typical Mario. I wonder if it will have like 8 worlds, 8 levels each world. I wonder if it's like that. If it's like that, then I could totally see them, you know, doing that. But
Right.
who knows? Yeah, who knows? We'll see. I guess we'll find out soon, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine
December. Animal Crossing should be really cool.
if it ever comes out.
No, yeah. I mean that's a total iOS Android game. Fire Emblem would be really cool too. Like that's a little bit more strategic. It can
Right.
get really difficult. I'm just curious how they're gonna do that. Have you seen any of the new Pokemon Go stuff?
I did see they have themed 3DS XLs.
No, no, no. The I'm talking about the Pokemon Go where you can
Oh,
have
Go.
a travel
Sorry,
buddy.
I went to the other Pokemon.
Oh, oh no.
Oh yeah, they did the. Oh, that's right. They have the buddies now.
Yeah, they have the buddies following you around.
Do they have
Um,
that? Because I know that update's out for iOS. Is it out for Android yet?
I do not know. I do not know. Don't know. I imagine it is. I thought they did it at the same time.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm booting it up right now to. Just see on the, let's see, iOS. I don't even know how you would pick. You got to pick your. Uh, don't you like pick your buddy or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't even know how I would do that. Oh well, all right. Well, we'll do all that later. But oh, so they have like Pokemon new 3DSs.
Yeah, yeah, for Sun and Moon, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see here. What you go ahead and take the next one here.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking up. It is going to be free to play.
Oh, okay, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, Mario.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome. That's
yeah.
cool.
And I think that's the way to go.
Yeah,
Free to
yeah,
play.
no, yeah, absolutely. If they can do that, for sure.
Absolutely. Um, we have heard this rumor for a while, and I've wanted it to be true. Ubisoft taking the year off from making a new Assassin's Creed is releasing the Ezio collection,
Oh,
which
okay.
is HD versions of Assassin's Creed 2, Revelations, and Brotherhood.
Okay.
The interesting thing is they're including all the story DLC. They're also including the two little tie-in films that they did
Mm.
in there. What was it? Lineage and Embers. So they're
Mm.
adding them in as well. That's a package I would say get, especially if you were like, oh, people talk. Is it you that like hasn't really played Assassin's Creed? It is you.
Me, yes.
This grab this from like GameFly or something. It's
Okay.
because these were the games, and this is great because these three tell a story. Like I know that sounds kind of stupid to say because it's sort of the point of the whole franchise, but
Hmm.
those like one was a great starting point, had its issues, but it was a neat idea. Two, Brotherhood and Revelations are the story.
Oh,
And it
okay.
and it should have just kind of stopped there, and they could have gone on to do something else.
Hmm.
But that's where the story is, and that was fun. I love these three, and I would definitely pick that up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I've only dabbled in it, so
yeah,
yes, these are absolutely some of the games I'm going to be picking up.
yeah, and
I know the BioShock collection came out.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, and that's another series that I just dabbled in. So,
That's
um,
that's another one that you should definitely play for
yeah,
sure.
yep, that's what I will be doing for sure.
Very cool.
Um,
But yeah, this one comes out November 17th.
oh,
So
okay,
not so just in a couple months, right in the middle of everything the hell else. Like
yeah, oh yeah.
uh
See, the thing is, honestly, I'm not even that interested in much this holiday season. Everything that's come out already is what I'm interested to, unless it's like Final Fantasy. A lot of things are coming out next year that I'm excited about.
true.
Yeah, I mean, what game in the next since until December that like you're super psyched for?
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Eh, I didn't like the first one.
Ah, boo.
Yeah,
Shame on you.
Final Fantasy is honestly the only thing, and Pokemon. That's it. Pokemon's the most excited. That's the most exciting game for this Christmas or this holiday.
That's
That's
fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
that's it. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, the was it Zero Dawn, all that stuff next year. That I'm
Yeah.
excited for, and X and like all of that stuff. I'm super excited for. But
But not the updated Skyrim, really?
okay, okay, that yes, it's all of these like old games. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, a little bit.
BioShock, I want to play. I want to play the this Assassin's Creed because I never did. If you told me tomorrow there's a Kingdom Hearts remaster, I'd play that even though I didn't really like it when I was trying to play it on the PlayStation 3. But if they fix the god, you know what? I found out from a lot of people it's overrated. They're like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts. If you go back and try and play it now, you can't. I was like, thank you.
It's yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah. Yeah.
They're like, yeah. They're like, yeah. If you go and try and play it now, it is terrible compared to what like modern controls are. And I'm like, thank God, because I'm sitting there like, this is just terrible.
It's no, yeah, you're absolutely right. It was a product of its time for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure back then there was like, oh, this is revolutionary.
Well, and especially just because of the crossover.
Right, right, right.
Like that was the big thing. Uh, and then they did some stuff, and then they did two, and then after that, it just went off the rails.
Oh yeah. Speaking off the rails, Last Guardian game delayed to December 6th in US, 7th in Europe, 9th in UK, and officially no one cares anymore. I mean, this game could never come out, and I would not. I would totally be okay with it.
I think you're in the minority here, man.
Not at all, dude.
The
I went and looked at Twitter. All of the hashtags for this were just people like, don't care anymore. How long has it been?
But I mean, that's the thing of they're just like, it's not like, oh, I don't care about this game. It's like, I'll wait the month. Like,
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think people are just so over it being delayed, and they're it's like it's one thing if it's a tease. Oh, it's coming soon. Oh, it's not. Okay, it's almost there. But for 10 years, that's like going to, SummerSlam for 5 hours. You're done. Like you're drained. You don't care anymore. There's no, this is boring. That's how I feel with Last Guardian.
that's fair.
Just so long ago. I don't know. I don't see anyone getting excited for that. And like I said, when I looked on Twitter, everybody was just like, could care less. Like the Dragon Bird dog.
Yeah, wait until like a week before it comes out, then we'll see.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
gonna
know.
see a lot of these people turning around. Like,
I don't know. All the air is out for me for that one. It's just not excited for it. Gran Turismo Sport. Was it Polyphony? Whatever.
yeah, Polyphony Studios.
Studios says game is delayed until 2017.
Yeah,
So
not like a specific part of 2017 either.
well, that game's gonna sell like crazy anyway, so I don't think it really matters.
I doubt it. 6 didn't do that well.
Oh, it didn't?
Not as well as they'd liked.
I thought like Gran Turismo was the most sold first party game on the PlayStation 3, or I guess it was the one before that.
It might have been.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Forza kicks its ass.
Oh, okay. It was Gran Turismo 5 was the best selling PlayStation 3 game.
Right, because everybody run. It's like FIFA. Like it doesn't sell all that great here, but they buy it everywhere else on the planet.
I guess, yeah, I'm just meant to soccer or cars, so.
Right. That's pretty much how it goes here.
Yep. Yeah. Well, no, I mean America likes cars, but not those kind of cars.
Not right.
Right. They're more like NASCAR or off-roading or like like Fast and Furious type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk about Civil War. We'll talk about the WWE and the WCPW. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and that's about it for video games. Let's get into some extra stuff, and then we'll talk about the wrestling this week. Civil War 2, issue number 8, delayed from November 2nd until December 28th, which is a pretty big jump.
Right. For an issue that they weren't originally even going to have.
Yeah, and why have it like the few days after Christmas? This is so weird.
Right, and can we have one big event in my lifetime that doesn't suffer interminable delays? Just one.
Yeah, that would be
great.
great.
Civil War did it. Secret Wars did it. What was it? Forever Evil did it. Like every company's had one that's done that.
Yeah, and what the worst part about it is like if you're heavily invested in it and you're reading other things, and the other things are well past it,
right?
You're like, well, fuck.
Uh-huh.
What happened to Scott Summers?
Right.
It was like that whole Secret Wars thing. It was like they were beyond it before the book was done. Yeah. So, okay. You take the next one here.
Yeah, man. WCPW over in England, they heard that Alberto Del Rio was no longer with the WWE, and so they picked up the phone, and he said, "Yeah, sure, I'll come over."
Yeah. So can he do that and like TNA and stuff?
He can't work in the U.S. I think is his contract.
Oh, so that makes sense. So
yeah.
He could do like Mexico or
right. His non-compete I think is just U.S.
So how many years can he compete in the U.S.?
I think what is it? Just like 90 days, I think.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, the non-competes. I mean, that's just been the standard non-compete. I don't know if it's changed any.
Mm-hmm.
But
that makes sense. So yeah, he could totally do WCPW. He could do.
He could do New Japan. He could go. Yeah. He could go back to. I totally forgot the big one in Mexico.
Underground Lucha.
I can't do Lucha. Lucha is actually U.S.
Oh, it's U.S. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Lucha Underground is actually really good
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it embraces it's a show.
Hmm.
It's like, oh no, and then we settle things in the ring. Like it's just the world. It's like it's what made the final deletion with TNA work.
Right.
It was like here's this thing, here's this high drama, and we settle it in a wrestling ring. Why? Because that's just the way it works. Deal with it. Okay.
That's
Like
cool. It's like a
it's
comic
just
book.
exactly. It's just part of the world. Deal with it. Like
I gotta watch that. I gotta start from the first season.
yeah, Lucha Underground is really good.
Yeah. Cool, man. Is that did Rey Mysterio go there?
Season 2, yeah.
Season 2. Okay, because I was wondering where he's been.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. Um, no news on Paige yet, though, right? Didn't she lawyered up? That was the only thing that broke.
Right.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about WWE.
Yeah, we had Backlash this weekend.
Yeah, we had Backlash, which was fantastic.
Backlash was phenomenal, in
Yeah.
fact.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I had to. It started with the 6-pack challenge for the new women's title.
Mhm.
It was a mess of a match,
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was
but
great.
but that's the thing. Like it worked. It
Oh
wasn't like,
yeah.
oh my god, this is a train wreck. It really worked, and everybody got to showcase,
Hmm.
and the right champion was crowned.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I was for a moment. I was like, oh, they might give it to Nikki or
I,
Carmella just to keep the.
Man, I really didn't want him to put it on Nikki. I would have been okay with Carmella just because she's new and she's gonna
Right.
build that heat, and I would have been all right with that.
No, no, don't get me wrong. I don't think so. I wouldn't want Nikki to have it either. I wanted Becky to have it.
Yeah.
Did you see they play her theme during the Cardinals games?
Really?
Anytime there's a touchdown, they play her
They
theme
play
for some
her
reason.
theme.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was funny. But yeah, so yeah, that match was great. What was the next one?
We had the first we had the one tag team one with the Usos and the Hype Bros.
Yeah, I liked it. I think Hype Bros did much. I liked watching the Hype Bros the last few matches. They've been good, great.
I like the Hype Bros.
Yeah,
I've been a Hype Bros fan for a while.
yeah, yeah. And the
Um,
Usos, I'm way more interested in them now more than
yeah,
ever.
big time.
Now that they got their dark side, and yeah, man, they need, they need to get over. I don't know, them and Roman need to team up. But yeah, maybe like on whatever the next like mix show is, like the mix pay per view.
Right?
Like he needs to come out, or they need to come out and just like what they did with AJ, you know,
Exactly.
where they just like, come on, I don't want your help, you're bad, you're evil, and then like he just dives in. Yeah. So yeah, no. What was the next one after that?
You asked me way too fast.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to, because I can't keep them in order because I know there were only like 5 matches, but I still can't remember them in order. Uh, we had, if I can find it here, because I'm just trying to get. Uh, oh, it was the Intercontinental title match,
That was I thought one of the best of the night.
which
That and
was
the last one.
awesome. It was what an IC title match is supposed to be.
Hmm.
It's the longer match. It's the technical match. It's the one where you really build the story in the ring.
Hmm.
And watching the Miz mock Daniel Bryan like that, I loved it. Like
Yeah.
it just, I mean, the Miz has really come into his own just in the last couple weeks.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I
Apparently they mocked CM Punk in that match.
did they?
Yeah, with like him getting uh tackled to the ground and in the chokehold or
Oh,
whatever.
that's right. In the beginning, yeah, early in the
Yeah,
start, they
yeah.
did take a little dig at Punk. Yeah.
That's funny.
Uh, and then we had Bray Wyatt, who is allergic to winning on pay per view.
Hmm.
Who
I have no idea why did they do that. He should have at least won. It's
he
Kane.
right? What is Kane gonna do from here on out? He's gonna beat up another milkman?
It's
Like, are we?
just I honestly think the Wyatts did something behind scenes. We all know Bo did. Somehow he's getting a push though.
Bo,
Did you see the video?
yeah, all right.
Getting arrested? Oh my
Oh,
god, it was so sad. I'm
and then
like, oh,
Bo
I feel
came out
bad.
just so. Bo is starting to turn into his brother a little bit.
Yeah, well, he needs to. They need to team up. They need to be the Wyatt family. Like,
Yeah,
it makes no sense why they are not. There's a guy in there called the Wyatt family, or he has the Wyatt family, and his own brother's on the show, and he's not a part of it.
yeah.
It just makes no sense. All
But
right.
yeah, so that happened.
Mhm.
And then we got the tag team title match,
Mhm.
and my boy, I loved it, man.
His
Rhino and
shirt's
Heath Slater, tag team champions.
Oh yeah, his shirt is the best.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, we're getting a double wide. It's
Uh,
just
I
so
just
good.
I love it, man. Because
Yeah.
they let Heath build to something,
Mhm.
and it was amazing to watch him. Like when you finally give him something to do instead of whatever stable they can stick him in that's not going to go anywhere.
Mhm.
He will rally a crowd behind him. He can do it.
He did on SmackDown, man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right, so we don't have much time left. Keep going.
Ah, and then the main event, the WWE World Championship match, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose. It was a solid match. It was well booked. The psychology was fantastic, and your winner and new WWE World Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yep, the face that runs the place.
Yes, and now as he ever, Mr. TNA is now WWE World Champion.
Yep, the champ that runs the camp.
That's it. Oh,
I thought it was great, and I liked
oh,
it. I did like that on SmackDown this week. John Cena came back, and people were actually chanting his name. I was blown away. I loved that part. Did you see it?
I did not know.
Oh, did I ruin it for you?
I had seen it while I was looking for.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
What was great though is the crowd was behind him because should I tell you or no?
No, don't tell me, because
Okay.
this sounds interesting now.
I won't. They're not at first, but you'll see. And
Okay.
I really liked. I really like what they're doing with Cena. Like I'll just say I like it when he's honest. I like that's when he's at his best.
Yeah.
Kind of like when he made the remarks to The Rock, where he's like, I see that written on your arm
Yeah.
during his speech or whatever. I like when he does stuff like that.
Yeah.
When he's just real. But yeah, so I don't know. We don't really have much time to talk about Raw or SmackDown, but I thought they were great shows. Well, I mean, I thought SmackDown was good. Raw,
Yeah.
just they're treading water until the pay per view.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, hey, what else do we got here?
I wanted to talk about two things real quick. If you're in the Statesville area, we have the Full Bloom Film Festival starts in 2 weeks. No, a week. It's in a week. It's in a week. Um, Tickets are still on sale. Come and support the fact that a tiny town like this actually has a legitimate film festival, please.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And something else, in the coming days, hopefully, uh, we're gonna relaunch the Teespring store for our shirts,
Oh,
and
awesome.
we're gonna do a men's shirt, a women's shirt, a mug, and some stickers.
Sounds good. Sounds awesome. I'm
Well,
in.
we've been on the end radio network for about a year now.
Yeah,
And I figured this is about time because it's been about a year since we did the first run of the shirts.
it has. You're
So it's
absolutely
it's
right.
it's it's about time we do that again. Once I get that finalized and set up, should be in the next day or two. Um, I'll put everything up on the group and tweet about it and everything.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm in. Yes. So speaking of the group, go to our Facebook page, We Geek Podcast. Go to the in.fm as well, like both of our pages. Comment. Go to our Twitter accounts is at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Put a review up for us on iTunes. That does huge for us. And until next week, see you later, Captain.
Captain.